Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and tomorrow Celtic travel to Easter Road in a game which is surely going to test the confidence of the players at the minute. You know, we've been in a sticky situation, a rut you could say, over the past couple of months, and we need a response, and it's a time now for Celtic to try and turn around the course of the season. It's very important that we do that tomorrow. We're going to talk about everything to do with the game after the intro. For once, we've had a decent international break to come back from. Usually I'd be like, thank God, club football is back, but arguably it's been more fun over the last couple of weeks as a Scotland fan as it has been to be a Celtic fan so far this season. So, very interesting to say the least, but for the sake of the channel, thank God Celtic are back. Before I go any further with the video, make sure to check out the top line of the description for the channel's sponsors. If you do want to go and download the OneFootball app, that is where you can get it. The OneFootball app will show you everything you need to know heading into the weekend's game and any game around Scotland, not just to do with Celtic or the rest of the world. If you want to see how players have been doing on international break for the respective countries, if you want to keep up with stats, goals, assists and just general news, then the OneFootball app has got everything in one place for you as well. Get your notifications turned on and be first to know when something has happened to do with your club. The link, as I said, in the top line of the description. Make sure to go and download that. So, as Elvis Presley once said, it's now or never. Celtic need to fire back tomorrow from what has been a very poor few weeks. We left off with a very good win over Motherwell, which in normal circumstances would fill you with confidence heading into a trip to Easter Road, but with the way Celtic have been playing over the past couple of weeks, it's not really the same feeling that you would get. Is it paper over the cracks? So we've asked that question numerous times on the channel, and fans over social media have been asking that question week in, week out, or should I say day in, day out, since the result. You know, we've not been sharp. The calls have been given out for Lennon to be given the chop, but I guess now is the time to try and rally around the manager, try and rally around the team at a position where we need to now fire back and pick up our season. This is really the turning point, and as I said, it's now or never. We're 9 points behind Rangers, we all know that. We have 2 games in hand, we can close that to 6, but Hibs is one of the hardest games of the season, especially Easter Road. We'll come on to the past time we played them as well when we get onto the opposition, but it's not an easy game to start back with. You know, it would have been nice if we even had them at Celtic Park and you had a Ross County, a Hamilton or whatever, but it's not nice, not nice at all. Rangers have a tough game too, of course, with Aberdeen to be played, but it's just it's not a welcome back I would have liked. Of course, over the international break, we've seen players like Callum McGregor and Ryan Christie play phenomenally well for their countries. Scotland done really well with the win over Serbia. We don't need to revisit that just now. We're still recovering from it. But, you know, the flair that they brought to the game, you've seen McGregor stroll it against Serbia, you've seen Christie be magical. We need that now. We need our players to turn up and realise the significance of what the next few weeks means. It's going to take a while to catch up. We've got such a backlog of games to play as well in terms of, you know, Europa League. We've got the Scottish Cup final. We've already got a game in hand, or 2 games in hand, sorry, over Rangers. You know, it's going to be a tough few months for Celtic. We're heading into now the nitty gritty. And the tone that we've started the season with hasn't been great on the park, but off the park it's been even worse, you could say. It's been horrible, you know, the sort of attitude surrounding fans just now, and I am guilty of being one of those that were taken towards the team and the manager. You can't blame us because we've been that bad, and this is obviously the biggest season of our modern history. It's just been a really toxic feeling, and we need to start afresh now tomorrow, and I feel like we've had to see that so many times, and that's the annoying part. You know, this isn't the first time we've sat down and said, oh, this has got to be the turning point for Lennon, this has got to be the game that turns it around, it's now or never. It's not the first time I've had to sit down and say that, so the fact I'm saying it again, it really just tells you everything you have to know about Celtic's season so far. So it's going to be really intriguing to say the least, and do you know what? Hibs are not going to be easy. Yes, we beat them 3-0 earlier on in the season. It's not the first time we've played them. But they're going to be fighting hard. They know what they're wanting this season. They want to be that 3rd place team. They want to be better than Aberdeen. And knowing that Aberdeen could lose points tomorrow on Sunday as well against Rangers just shows you what an important game this is for them. They will want to get 3 points as much as Celtic because they want to get the upper hand in the battle for 3rd place. So both teams have something huge to play for. Our players need a kick up the backside. And look, if we play anything like we did against Motherwell, there will be positives. We can win that game. But Motherwell wasn't all great. Motherwell showed signs of getting in behind us and scoring goals and causing problems, and once again bringing out the worst in our defence. Now, if a team that like Hibs can get the chances Motherwell did, it won't end 4-1 to Celtic. They will get goals. Players like Nisbet, players like Doidge, players like Martin Boyle, they will convert chances if we give them. And Motherwell probably just lacked that bit in the final third that teams like Hibs actually have. So it's intriguing to say the least. Also worrying, but let's move on to the opposition. Of course, we've already touched on Hibs battling out for that third place. Earlier on in the season, we played really well against them. In fact, it was probably one of our best performances of the season when we took on Hibs at Celtic Park, the 3-0 win, which kind of took me off guard at the time. If you remember when I done my 3 Things We Learned video, I thought that could have acted as a turning point. That performance looked to be complete from Celtic. Defensively, we were sound, we kept a clean sheet. And moving forward, we had goals. Ayeti got on the score sheet as well that day. We looked as though we had strikers being able to score. We looked as though we had quality in the middle of the park, and defensively we looked solid enough. But it all kind of went topsy-turvy since then, and it's not been the same. A point I brought up in the Talk Scottish Football podcast yesterday with Kieran and David. If you've not watched it, make sure to check it out on the channel. This is a Hibs side who, of course, have been forever getting better under Jack Ross. It shows every week, they look as though they're a team who are just constantly improving, and they've came a long way since, the departure of Neil Lennon, and then you had the Higginbottom phase, and there was ups and downs, but now Jack Ross has installed a system. They look good, they look sharp. But this Hibs team, for as good as they may have been since coming back to the league at times, and they've had players like John McGinn, and they've just had a really good squad in and about different eras, different points. Eras, we're not going that far back, Jesus God. This is the first time I feel like Hibs have possessed such quality in the final third that they can deal damage with very limited chances and silly mistakes from our shocking defence. They've not really had that final third quality since coming back to the league for me. Not against Celtic anyway. Doidge didn't really take off till late last season. Nisbet's now playing for them and he's the star man. Before that, I was never really feared of Canberra at Hibs. I don't feel like they had that. The bother was always in the middle of the park. You had players like McGinn, you had players like McGear. It was always there. It was never really up front that caused us the issues. But now this is a Hibs team who have added quality in that final third. Nisbet is one of the best strikers in the league. He's one of the top scorers in the league also. It's a team that can cause us all sorts of problems. And yes, we've never really seen it at Celtic Park. It didn't really get as many chances. But trust me, the way our defence has been playing, they will get them. They will. And we need to look out for that. We need to set up with a system that is going to allow us to drain the life out of them. They will work hard. I don't expect Hibs to park the bus or anything like that, despite losing 3-0. I think they still will attack the game, especially being at Easter Road. Easter Road hasn't been easy over the past few years, and that's why I'm not looking forward to this trip tomorrow. Because of how much we've struggled over the last 2 or 3 years, even under Brendan Rodgers, with heading over to Leith. So it's a funny one. But as I said, the striker situation, they've added there. They're better there. And Nisbet will cause problems if we allow him the chance to. Of course, you know how much Big Dave raves about Kevin Nisbet, and he's not the only one now. The whole country is. We want to see him involved in the Scotland squad. He's been playing so well. He's proven how much of a player he is. And it's going to be a difficult game. I like the idea of us going with a 4-2-3-1, of course, and I think we should be sticking with that. Will Duffy come back in? He had a nightmare against England in the international break. He's been getting slagged rotten. His confidence is at all-time low. Hibs at the minute will know we're in a far worse position than what we were when they played us at Parkhead a couple of months ago. And even then we weren't in a great position. There was still issues, there was still problems. We were highlighting these areas where we had to improve. We were just off the back of getting knocked out of the Champions League by Ferencvaros. It's not been an easy ride this season, but now more than ever, Hibs will see the weakness and Hibs will go to take advantage of that. Which brings me on to the team selection and what I think we should set up like tomorrow. I don't think we'll see many changes from what we ended the season with. Jesus Christ, what year am I in? What we ended the last portion of the season with, before the international break. I think Lennon will go back to playing the 4-2-3-1 as he should. I think we've identified that as the main way to play now, despite losing to Prague. But that's what we've got to do. Edouard was fantastic for France over the international break. The form that these players are showing, the big question obviously that's been lingering is it worrying for Celtic fans to see these players playing so well for their countries but not showing it for Celtic? You know, I've not had away from the fact that I have started losing a bit of faith in Neil Lennon. I love Neil Lennon, I do. You know, I've always wanted to support him after he was given the job, as much as there was questions there, and I didn't really want him to have it at first. I got behind him, and he done a really good job last season, and fair enough, got behind him, and he pulled it back for us, and after all the abuse, he delivered. But I've not had away from it recently. Is that why we're not seeing these players perform the way they have for their international sides at Celtic? You know, you see Edouard scoring 2 for France the other night. Christy McGregor's I've already touched on. The Norwegian boys are doing well. Of course, Elyounoussi and I think have came on to a little bit more form as well recently, so that's an improvement. But you know, you see all this happening, it makes you wonder, why is that not happening for Celtic? Is it the managerial issue, or do players want out? Look, they need to realise the importance of the next few weeks now, and we've touched on that. For me, 4-2-3-1's the way to go. I want to bring Barkas back into the squad. I'll come out and say that. I don't think we should stick with Payne at the minute. I think Barkas needs the confidence in his game. Let's give him it tomorrow. It could be something I regret saying, could come back to bite us, but I want Barkas to come back into the team, and apart from that, I think we will remain mostly the same. Edouard has to come in after scoring 2 for the France under-21s. McGregor and Christie, I think, both have to be involved, and they both have to be involved to the same level they were for Scotland. We need to give them the chances, we have to give them the ball, we have to allow them to be magic. Of course, Christie will probably play on that right-hand side. Let's get Rogic back in the team, let's keep his momentum going. He's been magic, we've all been raving about him because of how good he's been. Let's keep that going. Elyounoussi, let's keep his form going as well. I think the team kind of picks itself tomorrow, and you know what to do. Duffy, for me, we should still drop him. I think what we've done against Motherwell by dropping him out the team was the right move, and let's keep that going for now until we do see improvement, until we know we can rely on him. And I don't know if we ever will be able to, but let's keep doing it until we can. For me, the team picks itself. Lax out as well, of course. Frimpong, Ayer, and Beaton at the back for me. And Brown back in the middle of the park probably. So I want to get Turnbull involved, I really do, but I don't think it will happen. So that's my team prediction. Score prediction, Celtic, I think we'll win the game. I think we can do this. And I've said that so much this season, it's been thrown back in my face, but we need to understand, and the players I'm sure will understand now, we need to kick on. So I think we can get a win tomorrow, and I'm confident of that. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 Celtic win, a clean sheet. Oh, you're not right, but we'll try for it anyway. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to check out OneFootball as well. Your scores, your predictions, everything else down there. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.